just getting news that IndusInd Bank's promoter group, that's IIHL, has expressed trust in bank's chairman and board, with Ashok Hinduja saying that swift actions will reinstate customer confidence. In fact, Ankur Mishra, my colleague, is here with more on what Mr. Hinduja has to say a day after the earnings.
Yes, a day after the earnings, a vote of confidence coming in favor of bank's chairman and the board from Ashok P. Hinduja. He mentioned that swift actions by board will rebuild trust and enhance transparency. In fact, he calls a start with new dawn for IndusInd Bank with a sanitized slate. Remember, the bank had already declared that there is a fraud that has happened to bank and on which the bank will take action. The action can be investigative agencies probing the same. The action can be regulator taking some more action on the bank. We also reached out to regulator for finding out what Reserve Bank of India could be doing on the IndusInd Bank issue, but we have been told through sources that the regulator has been keeping a close eye on the situation. In fact, a committee was already formed to run the operation, and a basic question which remains for the bank is who will be the next CEO of the bank. We understand that the process has already started and the names will be finalized by June 30. For now, the bank is running show with Sunil Mehta, who is the chairman of the bank, and Ashok Hinduja clearly backing the chairman and the board after a bank has declared earnings.
Right, okay, that's that on IndusInd Bank and the commentary that we're currently seeing from Ashok Hinduja coming in on IndusInd Bank, saying swift actions by the board will rebuild trust. Management's swift action is going to enhance transparency. Coordinated efforts from the management kept the bank's business healthy. And what they have witnessed, saying that they're seeing a new dawn for IndusInd Bank with a sanitized slate. He's also lauded RBI's orderly stance in addressing issues at the bank and committed to support with equity infusion if that would be the need. IndusInd Bank has recovered a fair bit, got a little wobbly just of late, flattened out as the market also dipped, and now again it's on its way to recovery. 785 is where that stock is right now. Ashi Anand too joins in on the show. Ashi, hi, afternoon. How is it that you're looking at the developments in IndusInd Bank? Safest to avoid right now, or would you say for those holding it, maybe could buy some more, because even after the earnings, you didn't see a crash in the stock. Seems like a lot of negatives were already in the price.
Hi, firstly, thanks for having me on the call. So on IndusInd, I think what you kind of mentioned towards the end, right? A lot of the negatives being in the price. If you are looking at kind of valuations, it has kind of fallen from about 1.5 to about 0.8, 0.7 times book value. Now, at those valuations, a lot of these current kind of accounting irregularities that have been identified are currently kind of priced in. And for a bank that used to trade historically at quite comfortably 1.5 to 2 times book, trading below book does really account for a lot of the kind of current concerns. I think an important element for the bank to really sustain and possibly start to move up going forward is that the irregularities that have been identified, this needs to pretty much be it. Now, with a kind of clear management transition plan, the old management that was responsible for some of these issues having kind of resigned, new management slated to come in. The bank does have kind of good positives in terms of its long-term franchise strength. And as the new management comes in and you start to kind of see the recovery, we think the stock could kind of do reasonably well going forward. Possibly for people who've got investments, they could possibly keep holding. But I think for someone looking at kind of entering the stock at these levels, you probably wanted to wait to see clarity in terms of one, the new management and the kind of overall things they're doing to put in place things in the bank going forward, and also just ensuring that there are no other cockroaches that actually come out of the cupboard.
All right, so that's the take coming in on IndusInd Bank. Well, of course, the stock has recovered from the day's lowest point, indeed now almost at the day's highest point with 2% of the gain as we speak.